we good? I can't tell. Hello? Okay. Let's see. Welcome, welcome. It was a weird start. Got questions asked at the beginning. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of interesting time. It's gonna be a little bit different. Oh, that exploded. Am I good? Okay, good. Yeah, it's alright. Okay. It's Tuesday, so I gotta wake up a little bit. Let's go. Okay. I'm a bit slow here. Let's do that. And then streamer mode on. Welcome. This is why I have this loading bar. It can take me a bit to remember how to do all this. Okay. Welcome. Okay. How you guys doing? I know it started at, yeah, we had that weird thing. Okay. Okay. Which very many channels? Hello. Hello, commenter. Yeah, I'll have to look into that later. Okay. Chat's kind of working. Okay. I do want to get slightly quick into the activity. Because I know it might be, it's a little bit more experimental for me to figure out what exactly I'm doing. I could do this as we got something to look at. Gotta go to here to maybe a little bit lower res. But how you guys doing? Yeah. Just want to get pretty get into here a little bit quickly. Cause I don't know. Yeah, I never really done the full. I have never done like a start to finish on this process, so I'm not sure how to really just go from start to end. So we'll have to see. So this is the Derpy model that I made. It is pretty crude. I'm not gonna say I'm a 3D modeler. So there's weird things. I mean, especially with the hair. Basically like everything. So I agree that there's areas to improve. We could look at it like that. So probably recognize this if you see my Twitter. I did a little post on here, made a little. That was even tricky to get it on as a GIF. Little process with that. But it was it was more just a learning process to figure out like, can I make a character model or basically just use some kind of any kind of subject and then make something from scratch basically and see if I can make something. Because if I'm gonna keep continuing with the Derpy movie and I'm gonna making more and more things are gonna rely on 3D as things go on, it's like I better learn, at least feel confident in my 3D modeling skills before I move on to more complicated things. So yeah. I played New Horizons. I've been putting a lot of time into that, so I might have been taking some time off, I guess, to not play that game. I've already done my first loan, or I guess my second loan, because I haven't seen my second upgrade to my house yet. But I bought a lot of the Nook stuff, so excited to keep going with that. Let's see. How we doing? Hi, legit. Snow. Yeah, exactly. Elbows. There's a weird bang in here that is. That shot of it is probably just how it's rendered. If I change it to be rendered, then it's using a separate lighting engine, so that takes care of that. So that's easy. I agree with the arms, but I think it's just because I had like this pose. I modded it in T-pose. I thought it was being cool. So it has the arm and armature in it, and then some of the materials, the way that I have the UV maps, it was at a point where it's just like having to have every polygon around. If I can go to wireframe, of each polygon here had to have a separate. Can't collect the arm. Each one of these had to have a separate material onto it, so it's like I didn't want to play around with that. So it was just like it's good enough. I don't know. It wasn't meant to be. It was never intentionally like I'm gonna share this and it's gonna be perfect. It's more like just need to have something familiar that I can make it. That'd be something more complicated than more background sets, but like somewhere in the middle was that what this was. So, but yeah. Uh huh. I've seen someone mod Derpy into. Yeah, I tried to make it mostly like a. It's somewhere in between 64 and GameCube, especially with that wireframe that I kind of showed you. And it sort of has enough geometry that it's like it probably would be slightly taxing for 64, but it's like definitely doable for GameCube type of style. So, especially with its tail. It's about a long time in a tail to get this small geometry with a lot of little spikes was that was really fun to figure out. I'm better at this kind of sculpting where it's just kind of figuring out like how to extrude points rather than making things. So once it gets more complicated, trying to figure out like more organic-ish. Everything's organic with this, but it's just like trying to figure out stuff like that. Using 2D sprites for the wings was also really fun. But yeah. Would say I like doing the UVs, but I know that some of the problems are with the UVs, so won't delve more into that. But yeah. Yep. Oh, the Japanese said the early first one in 64. Yes. And then US, yeah, exactly. They later got Animal Crossing Force Plus and a GameCube based on the US version because that has more holidays. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, our project today is actually going to be a little bit different. Another type of hobby that I liked. One of my hobbies that, besides video games, I guess, as a teenager, was making paper crafts. I loved making paper crafts. I think I was like probably like 10 or something, and then there was like a magazine that had little. I have it actually on my thing over there, but it'd probably be too tricky to get it. Anyway, it just had a little square picture of like a Paper Mario, or I guess it's sort of how it lines into like Paper Mario and all that kind of stuff, where it's more basically using this, but like it's an older version of like 3D printing, where essentially you just I guess I have a picture. I can show the one that I made like a year ago. This is a paper craft, where this is I made the template. This is Temmie. I made the template, I modeled it, and I made it. So, where we going? Okay, bye legit. Wait. So yeah, I used a different modeling software and different papercraft engine, I guess, than just using Blender. I'm thinking about just using Blender today, because we'll see that it has its own dedicated plugin for making paper crafts. So I'm going to be trying to use that. I haven't done it start to finish though, so I'm going to see how that kind of process works. Yeah, this was my desk in probably 2016 actually. So before I even decided about the movie and everything else that happened in 2017. Jeez. So I made this in November 2016. So this was this wood desk is the desk that I still have, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think so. I just moved everything else around it. I was probably using a smaller Wacom tablet. My new one is like this big, so as well as this is a classic movies book just to hold up my monitor, which I still use on one of my monitors. Little Fluttershy and little cow. Little Derpy. Other little stuff in the background. There's a printer back there. That's how I printed this out. But the fun thing is that have a link to this that'll go to the template. I think it's the Comic Con version of the Derpy. So this is the template. So we're able to print this out, and using the different parts. It looks complicated if you don't know what you're doing, but as I've had like probably like 10 years experience of paper crafts, this is dirt simple. um, so I modeled it in a different software. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a while ago, probably like 4 years ago, as well as using a different paper craft engine. I'd say that it's just like a software that like can take the 3D model and then essentially just flatten it out and make the tabs. So I don't think I think the only thing I did was figure out the textures and modeling of it, but the papercraft software did all the flattening out and added the tabs. So the tabs are like these parts that hold it together. I can back up a little bit if you want. So papercrafts are like an in-between, I guess, of origami and 3D printing, where you take a piece of paper and you can cut it out. So you can use scissors to cut out each part, and then there's these white, I don't know what kind of trapezoid-ish kind of, you guys can help me with the shape terminology of what it is, but it basically is a tab. So it's like the hidden part to connect two pieces together. So you have a tab that folds down, and then that goes layered below then the other side. So that's how you connect two sides, and obviously it gets more complicated than that, but but it was really fun to like try and see if I can make it myself and even watermarked it. So yeah, it's really fun. I've only made like one, unfortunately. I think the way that the process of making it and then not have enough time to like sit down and go, I'm gonna make a 3D model, and not having really enough inspiration and everything. But now I do. So hopefully by the end of this stream, probably have to overload it or overtime it. We'll try and model a more simplified version of this, and then we can use Flash to texture it and then print it out, and then I can make it. Probably won't be in the same stream of making the whole thing, but I'm estimating that I'll be able to model it at least, and then probably get to maybe halfway at the Flash version, where I can texture it. So that's about where I want to go with this today. So how we doing before I get too jumped into it, because I kind of set this up. But yeah, this should be fun. Again, I haven't really done the full process yet. I'm not sure once I get it really unfolded how much flexibility there is. Like if I want one tab to be on another side, how tricky, hard would that be? I can export it as a PDF or an SVG. SVG seems to be the best, because once I put it into Flash, Flash is able to read the SVG as essentially the atoms of it, where I can go to any of the line work of the SVG and modify it, and it'll act like it was the same as if it was drawn directly in Flash. So it might be easier than a PDF. I don't know if you lose quality. Probably not, because it's scalable. So anyway, let's be back there, camera. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying to figure out how to make this a little bit simpler. If I go to wireframe, try to make it so there's less blocks and squares here. I was thinking about this all night and trying to figure out what kind of route I should take. There's two routes where I can either try to make sure I can't use this one for starters, so I have to use this paper plugin, the unfold plugin in Blender, and I can unfold it. Unfortunately, the way that I made it, I wanted to make the papercraft after I made this. That's the whole inspiration of this. Fortunately, it says error. This model contains 186 twisted polygons. The offenders are selected, and you can use triangulate to fix them. Export failed. I don't know what that means, so instead I'm just gonna make a new one, and then hopefully it'll work a little better. I even looked up what twisted polygons was, but I didn't find any concrete resources. So I'm just gonna make something simpler, or at least so that I know now in the forefront I'm thinking that I best not have twisted polygons. Yeah, it could be part of the, I don't know. I just thought it might be part of the bones, or having a rig in it that it has bones in it. Because when I go inside it, it goes back into a T-pose, and these bones are in different places. So might be that, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna make it probably a little bit simpler. Also, I was also thinking, like, who's the audience? Before I get too into this too, would be either I make it so simple that everyone can make it, or I make it so that it'd be more of a challenge for me in some cases to make it sort of look as close to this as I can, without all the weird anomalies. So, yeah. Type of 3D animator. I know. Because I'm not. I'm just gonna make... Yeah, make sure I'm in the right mode. Yeah. Hello, Spider. Ranger. I'm just gonna get started and just kind of make just a bunch of cubes. I think that'd be probably the easiest. Scale. And just kind of just move this around, I guess, and then see. Probably put it like over here, maybe. So this will be like the head. I can make it bigger. Let's make it closer. So I can make it like pretty much the same kind of scale, maybe. At least starting with, and then just kind of go from there. But first, we should probably make sure that this on itself, before we get like everything else into it, make sure that this can work. So if I unfold it, create UV map, go to UV editing. So it's using that texture as a placeholder. Is this the unfolding? I'm not sure. That might work. See that it's already made a bunch of... There's red lines. Might be hard to see, but there's red lines on the seams. So it's probably made seams already. I mean, that's pretty good. It's definitely possibly doable. It's definitely not the way that I would probably make it. Just with some experience or whatever. Of trying to do this, that's probably not the way that I would want it. I would want this shape to be over here, which they're all connected. So I'm probably gonna select this all clear seams. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna make my seams and then see if I unfold it again, if it would change. Let's go to 2. This is where it gets like, what are you doing? So I'm gonna make this a seam. See how it turns red. Not very good at doing these seams because I always like have to figure like in 3D space as well of how this is gonna work. So I want this to be the front, this side to be the front. I want it to unfold from there. So now if I unfold it, does it change? No. Okay. I made everything else a seam though, so that's weird. It's like I don't want that. Again. Not sure exactly what I'm doing. I can't select the edge anymore. Yeah, I can't. Okay. It's mark seam. And then I'm gonna make this a seam. And then let's make this a seam. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So it's become one part. So it'll have to open like that. So this part will have to open and connect only to this one. And then so this one's connected to the bottom. That's unconnected there, so it has to be unjointed there, maybe? Unfold. That's gone. That doesn't show up. Unfolded 3. That's not showing anything. This is what I was afraid of, where it just doesn't show up. That's the UV map. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. How does it gonna work? Fortunately, I only really tested it for like a couple minutes. So, yeah. If this doesn't work, then I apologize. I'll just be wasting your time. Because essentially, if this doesn't work, then obviously anything else that I add on to it won't work. So, It's obviously just give me a square right here, which is a little different from the UV map. But if I don't want it like looking like this, then what do I do? Wonder if there's a way to like, because right now they're like connected like this. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to maybe unlink. Shortcut, tweak left. No. Might as well like export it just to see what happens. But I don't want you to see that. So this is the boring, I'm not sure what's going on phase of all of this. So obviously that's weird. It's a cube. And other things in here. Guess I'll use that. Okay. I'm gonna export it in. Sorry, hang on. As it opens this. So I see a whole bunch of things to do. Let's make this about that. Okay, so I see a PDF. Let's change this to SVG. Let's change this to letter. Create tabs. Don't create numbers. Tab size. In and edges. Texture. Color and style. There's a bunch. So I'm exporting it. We're gonna go to Flash. Open it. Let's see. Fortunately, I don't see where I just exported it. Let's export it again. Oh, I put it in there instead. Okay, now I know where it is. Something inside of my thing there. So 24, 23. Page 1, page 2, page. That's a lot of pages. Why are these so many pages? It should just be page 1. Okay. Oh, that one. Okay. Sorry. Barely made this. Not sure what this means. Made a cube. Made that actually. Made everything but the actual box that I wanted. This is interesting. Okay. So it seems to have made everything. Made the boxes. That's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, I don't remember the software that I could have used, or like earlier version. That's a lot of pushes. I don't remember the software that I made the older version. Like what I made with the Timmy. So I'm slightly upset and frustrated with that. That actually worked way better. This really had inferior. I thought initially that it would have inferior type of technology, but maybe it's actually better. Because again, unfortunately I'll have to keep going back in here just to see as it opens everything else. Okay, so I think I understand what this is. You know, I have to keep pushing it, or I could just get rid of the chat. Where it keeps making. It essentially just made 6 of these. which is basically what I did ask for. So 6 gets rid of the text box. Oh, really? I'm confused. Okay. I'm sorry that there's no nice art that I'm doing. That is just a mess of me flailing around with, like, what even... Look at this kind of a thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna probably have to keep thinking what to do. Why not just rely on the UV that it makes instead? Because we can try that. That was a little box that I didn't want you to see, so good job on that. So let's clear seams. Select all, clear seams. Unfold. Yeah. We wanted this shape. That's better. Maybe we can put it back right about where it should be here, I guess. Right? Now let's export it. So I mean, you already saw it, but I guess just for continuity, I'm gonna have to do this again. Let's put it in the right place now. Okay. Attribute, letter, create tabs, text, go. There we go. That one. So press 6. Does actually saying 6 help? Does that get rid of the text box? I didn't understand. Okay. Well, this is a better start. So unfortunately, it still doesn't have the textures in it, which I think because there isn't actually a texture for it to find. So that's the only issue with that. But you can see that I could use this. Coincided enough that I can select this. Ooh, I can fill it. Nice. Okay. I can create my own boxes and then I can move them around if I want to. That'd be interesting. I'm more just like playing around with this and not really knowing exactly what I'm doing. Of course, I didn't actually fill. Okay. I need to put that underneath somehow. I need to put this fill on a separate layer behind it, maybe. But also be the same shape of where it is. It's obviously just nothing here, so if I just put it there. SVGs are not that simple. Maybe I can break it apart here. If I could just keep breaking it apart, it might be simple enough now. Okay. And then each of these boxes are now different. So, that can work. Okay. It takes 6 pushes to push it down. Oh, okay. How many people did I lose? Trying to figure this out. Okay. So this would be one box. And then it's all like that. That's not part together. Let's see. You're still here? Thank you. Can't add much. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I'm just trying to like experiment with this for now before I get too invested, you know? So I could do like this, and then each of these tabs I can move. That's actually slightly easier than some areas. It's just like how actually this will work. So how this will work is I can print this out, and then this box here will fold down. So on 3D space, it'll fold down like here, and then this box will fold over like this. So it creates a cube that rolls around. So I would have to be careful about the tab placement. I'm very picky about how the tabs are. So, but now that I know that I can break it apart, so basically, if it would just be up to the scale of most of this. If everything's gonna be a cube, then I probably don't need to worry about much of the other things. What I'm saying is that if I know that I wanted the head and the body to be the same shape, so I don't really need to change it unless I change the scale of it. And then, yeah, I'm just trying to think out loud inside as well. So I think I'll keep this, and then, yeah, we'll just keep going until I lose my mind, which is about 10 minutes ago. So, I'll probably just have to just model it out and then figure it out afterward. Okay. You get that to look at. So let's keep making more cubes. Mesh cube, and then so what I'm saying is that we don't have to worry about it being too exact anymore, but just that it can work, I guess. Let's go solid. That's easier. I think it's basically just trying to make it so it's kind of like smaller in all regards, but maybe like make it taller as well. So, I'm trying to make it easy, but it's like trying to make it too easy is now being my bane. So I can, let's go inside it, scale Y. Let's make it shorter. Try to make it the same sorta scale as the other one. I use some different colors just so I can see where I put the textures on different parts. So I knew that I had a different texture for the ear up here, and then the face was a different texture, but it only goes on the front, and then the wings were 2 different planes. So I'm gonna make this as trying to be as simple as possible. I could have it be one object. Maybe. Hello, LED. So I can copy this, go inside here and paste it. Here's a rip vertices button. So that doesn't work. Okay. Probably be best if they were different, I guess. So then I can unfold individually. It would just be figuring out, like, obviously this is easier in some regards if it was actually more geometry to it. Because then I can actually, you know, care about how these are working with the scale and everything, I guess. Because right now, I'm not sure if I unfold it, if these 2 boxes will be at different scales, but I guess if I just make it smaller, but I'm not sure exactly unless they're... Can I do both of them? Let's try that. If I unfold it, UV. Oh, there they both are. So now there's 2 boxes. So that's fun. Meh. I didn't see you, sir. Noticed it. But is that actually, let's see, loop. It is smaller by a bit. That's interesting. Huh. Again, I'm trying to learn it, so I'm not trying to be too perfect with this. Yeah, it is more experimental for me to just figure out like how this all works. So, sorry about that. like I'm learning on the job rather than anything else. Okay. So I'm gonna make 2 more for the arms. Let's put these in. And then these scales will be different as well, so we'll see if I do all 3 of them, if they become different scales. Let's make it in a Z. Let's make that taller. This will be the arm. You can see how that kind of works. So we're making it basically like a Minecraft sort of model at this point, yeah. But we don't need to make both of them. If I can do it in Flash, I'm just having both, just duplicating it, and it should be the same, so that shouldn't be an issue. And it's symmetrical, so that's okay as well. But just for fun, I could duplicate it over there. Just make sure. I guess this is just more of a visual, just to see like how they would line up, rather than how I line these up doesn't exactly equate to how the unfolding will work. So that's the only thing. Gonna make 1 more cube. Nope. Let's go inside, scale small. For the feet, I'm gonna make it 1 cube to make it slightly easier in that regard. Not that way. Scale X, and then scale Y. No, scale Z. Never get used to how Z is the up and down. Let's put it back over there. Let's kind of see where I'm trying to go with this. So scale Y. Is that very Minecraft-y sort of style? It's definitely not exactly correct, but I think some of the proportions are off, but I think that's basically like where we're going. So I can go inside and then remove 3 this face. So we don't need that. Face is too big. Yeah, I'm going more for chibi. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't need to be exactly that. I could make these scale Y, Z, X. A little thinner this way. So now it's more thin that way, then longer that way. Okay. And then copy, delete, paste, grab X over 1 over there. Okay, I don't have that button or like that plugin for the where it shows what buttons I'm pressing. Not really expected to like stream Blender, so I never really got around to that. But I think this is our good base. This might actually be the most of the geometry that I'm thinking. I could add the hat. It might be a little bit tricky of trying to figure out. So if I go to material, ooh, pretty. It's basically like a baseball hat, where the hat is just has a dome top and then a brim. So could add that. Let's go back to solid. That's easier for me to see. Let's add another. Let's add another cube. All right. We're actually doing pretty good. All things considered. Because I think once I kind of like figure out like where everything sort of, how everything kind of works, then it'd be. That was the big thing. Just trying to figure out like how everything. But mostly like the pipeline, I guess, more so than anything else. That's the hat. The scale Z. I don't like how Z is the up and down. I feel like it should be Y should be up and down. Because if X is the scale X does left and right with this, so I expect Y to be a different way. So I might actually change the geometry, whoa, of this to make it more fun. Just gonna click these two and then merge. See if that works. Merge distance. There we go. And then just move that down. Make that pretty flat and over. Okay. Just add some more variety with the shapes a little bit. So that should be good. Let's bring this down a little bit. So this will be the more complicated part, I guess, to assemble. Let's move that up. So we don't need this face underneath. Remove that. And then we'll just plop it down. We would like to extrude to E. This in the Y direction. There we go. So now I can play with this. Probably have it go up a little bit. I can play with the 2 points here. I'm going to go in. It's probably not going to be too even, but probably when we do it in the Flash version, it'll be easier. That's the hat. And then the rest of it would actually be more sprites, I guess, where we'll figure out, based on the size of how big, like, the body is, how big to make the rest of it, essentially. Like, we could, like, have the sprites, or even the wings could be in the tail. Whether or not we want the wings and tail to also be part of it, as 3D models or not. But I think this is about as much as I could probably do with this. How does this look? Because we're probably just going to keep adjusting bits and pieces of this as we go. I'll probably just keep unfolding it if I need to. I think that's about it. Let's go to render mode and see what we get. There we go. Material. Nice. I like it. Doesn't have everything, but I know that I'll be adding the more of the other bits as well. Extra. So, probably just gonna keep going with that. So let's highlight everything here. Got everything. Okay. So now let's unfold. UV editing. So now everything should be here. Loop. Loop. Oh, I said loop. It connected for some reason. That's interesting. I'll move that back. Okay, select all. It's paragraph. Yeah, exactly. Probably could have put that in the title, but if it didn't work correctly. So I'm gonna have to hang on, export it, put it where I want it to be, and call it something else. We will be making this as a papergraph figure. So let's see. SVG, letter, create tabs. Texture, I could add a... From materials, there's nothing on it. That's okay. Anything else I can change afterward. So let's put it on the desktop. Let's go to Flash. Let's get rid of everything here. There we got. Let's open papergraph. Import all paths to different keyframes. That's only one of them. So where are the others? I don't know. Why is it just a one? That's weird. I would like the other ones. First, I have to play with all the things here. Yeah, hang on. Create UV map. Color style. Export paper model. See if there's one page. So what I got was only one box. So trying to figure out where the rest of it is. This is the same thing. Okay. Maybe I need to export it as something different. Or maybe let's go to object mode and then unfold. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Here's everything. Export. Desktop. Paper. Craft. 2. Texture. Let's do from materials. No, there isn't any. Okay. Export. Why is it only one page? Import. Okay. The only thing that's tricky now is that it says there's 3 options of import all paths into the same layer and frame, import each path to a different layer, or import each path to a different keyframe. Let's do a different layer. Oh, that's just a 1. That's annoying. So I might have to do each one individually? That might be it. Which might take longer because now I have to do each of these individually. Unfold, create UV. Export. Unfortunately, yeah, because I have to keep going in between these back and forth. I'm not able to really show it because it'll show other stuff for that. For fun, I could do this, and you can just watch my eyes dart around in pain. So I'll call this Derpy Crossing paper box 1. So this will be cube. Let's import that and see if it's any different. It is. I think. It looks like it's different a little bit. Okay. Let's go to cube 1. And that's export. Let's export that. Unfold. Export. Again, I'm not sure why I'm having to do it like this. Paper box 02. Let's see if it's any different. Paper box 02, new layer. I think it's different. It is different. It's upside down. Yeah, okay. But it's not different from this one. That's exactly the same. What could be up with that? It's not toaster time yet. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. If it is the same, then it might actually be the same, and I'm not sure what's going on then. Let's unfold that, export. We'll be in toaster time in like 10 minutes. Paper box 03. Again, I'm not sure how to do all of this from start to end, so this might be the way you're supposed to do it. This might be the wrong way to do it. This may be correct, and I don't know what's going on. Let's go to box 3. It's probably the same. Let's do box 4. Box 4 is defeat. Let's do that. Put that into desktop. Derpy Crossing feet. Okay. And then put that into Flash. see where that goes. It's maybe it's hard to tell because they're basically all the same. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same as this. Well, okay. So what you were missing on a flash in was that I had a lot of boxes. Now I don't know which one's which, but they're on different layers, so that's okay. So, this might be the feet one. I don't know. Okay. I'm scared to move on with this because they're basically the same. And it should be different scale if they're different pieces. You know what I mean? Because I had them in different scales, obviously, to work with this. But back here, they're all basically the same if I overlap them like this. So, this might not take my scale into account. I've exported it at different times. This is the only one where it's different. So, yeah. Let's see. And these are all basically the same except for that one. But it should be different. Unless I did something completely wrong, which I'm sure I might have in some way either sabotaged myself at some point or something else happened. So, it'd be hard to move on, especially with what this is. So, I'm not sure what to do. Especially we're running out of time in this case. I could kind of show how I can make like one part and then maybe off screen I can figure it out, kind of a thing. And then by then on Thursday I can have like the template done and then build it. So I can kind of show you how I can make like one part and then maybe not use it, but then kind of show like how I can use that for the other pieces, kind of a thing. Just to show how this kind of process could work. Unfortunately, I was like, hey, this would be an easy kind of like do it yourself kind of craft where you can do this at home kind of thing. Wouldn't this be a fun project to do? That turned into this. So I'm gonna have to steal Derpy from here, place it here. Wow. So this is where it actually gets supposed to be fun. Where I can use this as a template. I can use her as like a reference model here, and then I can take the color from there. So this is what I wanted to get to, but unfortunately we got to weird things that I'm not able to control with all this. So I could play around with the tabs. So there could be I could put the tabs on the side here. So let's zoom in and just place it there. And then place this one. Actually, that can fit there. Let's put the line there. And then we could put these on the other side. Boop. Boop. Thankfully, I've had enough experience with this kind of a papercraft style to know that this works at least the best for me. Is this kind of a style. So, and I just move these around into place. Thankfully, snapping is glorious. And there we go. So now the tabs are in place. I can now could make this into a graphic. So let's just make this into the head graphic. We'll need to copy you into here, and then I could label these as well. So this will be front, this will be right, this will be back, and this will be left, and this will be top, and this will be bottom. So you can label it like this, at least to get some kind of sense of it, and then add a new layer to that. If I want the top to be all hair, I can just recolor it to be hair color. Back can also be hair color. And then we can add more fun stuff into it, where I can add the head. I can add the face. You can do that. Do that pretty quick here. See if I can do this. What do I need? Let's get rid of skull. Get rid of ear. Get rid of hair. It's actually easy to get rid of things that are not needed, and then highlight everything you do need. And then get it. Where are we? I don't know. Paste it. Here we go. Okay. I have to fix some of that. These will need to be 100% white. We'll just put it inside of here, inside of the box. Get rid of that because it's pretty obvious what this is now. Then it would just be about if I want to add more details or change the expression or other stuff like that. But yeah, once I kind of get more into it, I can add more parts, or add like the hair extending into different parts, or have the back of the hair have the more parts to it. This would be basically what I'd be doing, and then the other parts would be just putting like for the body, you would put like the neck, whatever you call it, with the white what do you even call it? Collar. Like put the collar on, and then the body part are there, and then the arms we have in there. Might make the different other parts like actual pieces. So I can grab the, as an example, I can take the tail and new layer. I can have the tail here, and if I want it to be double on both sides, I can have two of them. Rotate, flip. I can even steal one of these tabs. Might work. I think just kind of like just putting them right next to each other, and then once you kind of like cut those out, then you can fold it on top of each other, and it should mirror on both ends. So that'd be how that works, and then you can do that for the wings as well. And then just getting the scale would be the trickiest part, especially in this case, where I'm not sure how the scale would work. But that'd be kind of the process I would take to get through all this. So, firstly, with the nature of live streaming, the bad things can happen, and I'm not sure how to. It's hard to say like, oh well, I expected this. It's just like I didn't expect how this would work. So anyway, especially with a new process, I definitely forewarned you of how this would work. But yeah, that'd be the kind of process where I can just go in and then make sure that each section sort of works, and try to think about how things line up, and then say, because these two line up, I can add like a pattern that goes from one side to the other, from like a corner to like the other side. So I can think about it in that way, as well as trying to figure out the other part will be, yeah, just trying to figure out how the other parts scale, and then get the hat would be probably the trickiest part, especially if it doesn't want to figure out how it's gonna line up. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I think for now we'll just have to end. That's unfortunate. But I'm okay. It's gonna be okay. So the next time I'll get this done and then we'll never actually build it. So I'm okay. Let's see here. I'll go to toast time. I think it'll be more fun. No, we kind of started halfway with the earlier thing. So again, yeah, I'm sorry about that. But I actually got about where I wanted to actually be, so I'm actually sort of happy with that. Yeah. I don't know if you guys would like me to see, because the texturing part would probably take another hour itself, really get it done. I know the shortcuts, like all the arms are basically the same, so don't need to do that twice. But yeah. In some ways, it's kind of a good thing too that I made it literally the easiest or simplest geometry wise. Like if I had to like figure out how it would work with the higher model or the higher polygon count one, and then try to do that and figure out like how that's supposed to work, that'd be a lot trickier. So good thing, good life lesson is to start small when trying to learn anything new. Especially don't try to put this kind of outside pressure on you is not always the best. Take your time. If it needs to be, several days work, go ahead. Don't feel forced to try and finish it in one sitting or even a day. Life lessons with that. Just, yeah, take your time. And that was tricky with me. That was like, well, I gotta entertain you in some way, so I had to figure out on the spot how to keep going on this, keep it interesting. But yeah, otherwise, other stuff. Let's think about that. I worked on the movie a little bit today, actually. I actually started with Blender today, so that's pretty weird. I put in the, guess what? I put in the shadow for the snake creature in the shot that that we kind of worked on together live. So now she has a shadow, and then I added like small bits of camera wiggle, I suppose. So it's not super robotic, but now it has like when it zooms in and out, it has like a little bit more motion to it. So it's not a whoop, like a mechanical pull back or pull in. It has a kind of feeling to it. Yeah, that's actually pretty tricky. Yeah. Full disclosure, it was hard to get the shadow to work today too. Blender's powerful. I like it. It's probably the easiest 3D modeling software I've worked with. I've worked with several other ones. I know that I talked about the other ones too. That I worked with them. Excuse me. That I worked with 3ds Max a lot, or at least when I was a teenager. Yeah, definitely. I used it enough that I actually made a German. What am I saying? For my German class, in high school, I made a 3D animation with 3ds Max. So, there's that, and it was very tricky. But I was probably also using a 10-year-old at this point, 10 years ago, laptop. So that might have not been the best, where that like 1 minute animation took like 3 hours or more to render. So that's not bad, but it's just like, man, it's back then. It's like it's it was so short. So now I'm able to like render frames in half a second. So, but yeah. And then I tried Maya a little bit, and again in college. Of course, that was like hey, let's make a spaceship thing, that's like the first thing you learn in 3D. It's like how in 2D animation it's always the bouncing ball. In 3D modeling, it's always like a spaceship. It seems to be like the first thing. Because I guess it's like the first thing that's like easy to sort of model, and there's no way to really mess it up. So that's probably why. But yeah. And then the second thing was like they taught us was in Maya was to figure out how to model a human head. So I was like, I'm okay. Like I'm not good at that. But yeah. So now I'm just able to just sit down and like on my own time, basically just learn, do tutorials, and learn different things at my own pace. And it's like, oh, maybe that's why I'm learning it better. Just able to sit down and go, okay, I want to learn about this tool, or how do I do this? It's like, ooh, how do I, you know, use textures, or how to make UVs? And it's like, once I get like most of the principles, it's like, yeah, okay. So now I'm playing extra um, off off the script and off the cuff of this. That's like, I've never done paper crafts in Blender before, but I said let's do it live. Even though the couple tests that I did do a couple tests before this, like, but only like last week, really, like on Friday or Saturday, because I was like, last Thursday, I was like, ooh, I thought of an idea. And it was like this. It was do this paper craft. So, yeah, exactly. Just like, my tests were like exactly pretty much beat for beat what it's been like. Um, so, I don't know what I really expected out of this experience. You know, really. um, I don't know how like doing it live or doing it for the fourth time under pressure with this would be anyway better. Especially more complicated. I was just really the tests were just trying to figure out why the models I had weren't working. um, and then yeah, I didn't really go too much further than, oh look, it works inside of Flash. Great. So haven't printed anything out. None of the tests I've printed out. So be interesting to see like now if I spend more time on this to see yeah, how it'll turn out. Because now it's like I'm not sure about the skill or how anything interconnects and everything. There's not much documentation with this. It is a plugin that's like built into the newer versions of Blender, so I'm using like not the current one. I think the current one right now is like 2.83. I'm still using 2.82, but it's still a stable version. 2.83 is not stable and it's in beta, so I'm not going to be using that. They advise not to use that for projects safely. So, but it is weird like how this plugin that really goes under the radar, where there's not many people really talking about it. At least in like a lot of forums, is like, oh, it sort of works great, but I think the Venn diagram of 3D modelers and papercraft hobbyists are like very like, it's like two circles, you know, they're not intersecting. Just like barely. I would be like the 1% of that's like, oh yeah, I like both. I think probably making the papercrafts and like learning, it's really fun. Like, yeah, do like a little rabbit hole of papercrafts. They're really fun. Yeah, again, the way that I do it is that they have tabs and you glue them together. I guess you could use any kind of sticky material. I guess maybe tape, but I would advise not to use tape. Because usually the tape would be shiny. It's not really clean. It depends on also what kind of glue you use as well. But yeah, I'll see. But yeah. Other stuff I could talk about. Folly Cessa is still, I guess we kind of went back a bit in terms of the 99% done. Virtually, we're done with it. We're back a little bit. We finished like a couple shots, cleanups. very, very minor cleanup stuff. Um, I think I might have mentioned that we had like a new that Josh director like gave us like his great idea of like, hey, wait a minute, what if this? And it's like this 13 shot like change. So it's like, yeah, we could. It was hard to say no. It's like, well, yeah, that'd be cool. It's like, we thought it'd be cool too, but then it's like, we thought about like, oh yeah, we would have to like put it inside of a character and like it's part of their eye and everything. So it's like, oh, great, you know. So, working on that. Trying to get the full composition and just putting the new versions of everything, put it into essentially the final video. But yeah, and unfortunately, once our little team's duties are done, there's still like all of post production. So all of post production would be like the final editings of like sound effects, music, audio mixing itself, uh, any kind of video transitions, like any kind of fade ins and outs. Um, at the have proper credits and everything. So we still want it to be near. I guess I'll say that the when BrabsCon would have been uh, held. That would have been April 10th. So it's hard to say like, oh yes, it'll be done by then. And it's like I don't know. I honestly highly doubt it. Especially with this new development of trying to add more and more stuff into it. We're just piling too much into it. Especially the small things that seem like small things are now becoming big things of, oh, this could actually take a while, kind of a thing. So that's where we are with that. I talked about the movie. That's actually about where I am right now. And I talked about Animal Crossing earlier too. Short review on that is it's awesome. I love it. It's fantastic. New Horizons is beautiful. Probably because the last real Animal Crossing game I played was on the Wii, so that was like 12 years ago. So, the jump from 480p to like 900 is it's incredible. Visuals are amazing and gameplay is actually really good. It has like if you don't know, it has a nice hook to it where it wants you to keep playing like in little spurts and everything. So there's like these Nook achievements where you get Nook miles from Tom Nook. So it was like if you upgrade it enough, you like get these like micro missions where it's like catch 5 fish, and it's like, oh, I can do that, and then you finish that, and it's like, ooh, you get a new one like immediately of like cut down 1 tree, and it's like, ooh, I can do that. So it's like these really really simple missions that are like keep coming up. So it's like keep refreshing. So like that's that beautiful like uh, you do a thing and you get a reward, and then it's like, ooh, I get a new thing, so I better do that. So it creates that game loop. That's really addicting. With that, playing around with a bunch of the other features are really good. I got my bladders to come in. He's fully decked out. The museum is incredible. That's about as far as I really got. Again, I said that next time I play, I'll get the second upgrade to my house. So now I have to pay 200,000 bells. So that's where I am. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'll just play with the designs a little bit. Just made like a derpy head like tile design. I haven't played with the pro design ones. I bought it, but I don't know how to. Haven't really used it yet, so I'm not 100% sure how that's really gonna work, or if it would be best to maybe like wait for the Able Sisters to come in and then be more involved in that instead, kind of a thing. Yeah. Made for design Derpy. Awesome. Yeah, I just made a simple design. um, I guess I'm not a very good sprite artist. Um, so it got a little complicated with that. I'm trying to figure out how to get that going. Um, Took a bit to like get used to it, you know. It's like picking up a different type of utensil. It's like, oh, this is sort of how it works. Where like it's so zoomed in with the screen that it's like I had to use like the smaller previews just to figure out like what I'm even drawing at this point. So, um, this website that lets you convert any image to Animal Crossing pixel art. Oh, that's cool. You're still I don't know if that's really art at that point if you're just using that kind of a style, and then it just be painted by numbers at that point rather than freehanding it. But yeah, I see that. That'd be um, much more convenient at that point. But even just doing like simple like video game sprite art, like that still takes a lot longer. At least for me to figure out. Like I usually just like get off by one at one point, and it's like, oops, you know, this whole section is now off by one. It's like really tricky to get back on track. Um, but yeah, might use that to see. Must be the right resolution. So if it's like, yeah, if it is specifically for Animal Crossing, that'd be interesting. Um, yeah. So still a lot more to do. I'm not really into getting the spoilers too much of that. It's kind of enjoying it. It's weird because I want to like enjoy it like at my own pace and be like, you know, be really slow and enjoy everything, but also like I want to unlock everything because then it'll be open up new features to do more stuff. But it's like it's that kind of weird struggle with that, where it's just like, oh, maybe I want to, you know, spend like a month or more playing, and then it's like, oh, maybe I can get Bladders in, you know, whenever he wants. It's like, but then it's also like, oh, I want to get like the stairs. I can keep going and get the other features. You know, do the end game stuff. Time travelers, good as you. I know. I I did look up some YouTubers and like they, you know, it's like the most clickbaity, you know, images and titles of like how to get 1 billion bells in 5 minutes. So I watched like one of them. It was like just so YouTube. I usually like avoid that kind of stuff. So it's just like the immediate like, what's up, guys? You know, kind of energy that's like I was not prepared for. But yeah, their whole thing was like a two-parter video of like I must have watched the second part, and it's like I'm not gonna watch the first part. But I guess in the first part they say like, oh, you know, to get like a lot of bells real quick, you know, guys, you know, you gotta get this crown from the Able Sisters. So first you gotta get the Able Sisters, which I'm not there yet, and then you gotta time travel till they circle around to get a crown, which I guess you have to buy for like 1,000,000 bells. So it's like, how do you even get that in the first place? Like, how is that easy money to get? You know, that kind of get rich scheme of like, oh, first you must have a 1,000,000 bells, and then you gotta sell this 1,000,000 bell selling thing, and then you duplicate it with another glitch, where then you gotta get two players and then put the crown on a table and spin it and then collect it at the same time and you duplicate it, and and it's like just like so like that's not playing the game at all at that point. It's like what are you getting out of that? It's like, yeah, now you can pay for what? Like we're going that far. It's like to like using that level of like cheating stuff of like try and travel to get like this crown and then you can like sell for even more money. It's like, but then what's the point? Like, why don't you just keep cheating until you get to the credits or whatever? It's like there's no end game in Animal Crossing. It's like, what's the point? uh like the only credits is like I think is like the KK Slider concert. So it's like I think that's in the older games, but I don't know. But it's like I don't know. It's like, what are you doing? Um But it's like if everyone does that, it's like that's so dumb. So I try to play at my own pace. Just kind of do the little game hooks of the Nook Plus kind of stuff, and that keeps me busy. I went to like one island, a new island, using the Nook ticket. That was really fun. Um, where I am right now, I still need like one more iron nugget, and then I can upgrade the Timmy Tom tent. So, and then that'll take a while. So, um, that's where I am with that. So, gotta find one more rock or something to get another iron, and then get that going. But yeah, I mean, I could have bought more tickets to get more islands to get more rocks, but yeah, didn't want to. If I wasn't sure, like even like, I invited like two. Well, I guess I only invited one if I use one ticket. I invited like one villager to come to my island, but they haven't showed up yet. So I don't know even how that even works, or if I need to like upgrade my tent first. Which first I need another rock. So, because I'll cyclic with that. So, yeah, excuse me. But yeah, I'll keep playing. Um, but yeah, the first couple days were very addicting. Just to like kind of get through the tutorial and get to like get knowing how things work and everything. So I'm very happy with it. I don't know how really it'll last. Like probably like my attention span is only like a couple months. So I don't know if it gets me keep going after a couple months, then that'll be very interesting. That'll be a very good game to keep me interested for more than a month. Um, but yeah. Anything else? I gotta drink more water. I think that's about it. Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah. So. Um. Let's see. So I can review that. Yeah. So on Thursday, we'll see where I am. I guess with the paper template. Yeah. See about where. So based on where I'll be, if I finish the 2D template, then I can print it out, and then I can have a session of drawing or not drawing it. I'll finish drawing it, and then I'll paper craft it. So that'll be fun, where I can do that little. I have a lot of paper crafts. Oh, sorry, Sig Blue. I'm sorry. You have to watch it on my channel, I guess. Or on Thursday, you can catch up on part 2 of this, where I made a 3D model and then tried to make it a paper craft. So, that's about as much as you missed. But yeah, so on Thursday I'll see where I am with that and then continue with it. So, hopefully it'll be fun. This is just trying to see if I can do something a little bit different. But yeah. Hello. I always say Thomas. I think it's Tom. I'll say Thomas. Okay. Hello. I was actually trying to end this, so that's okay. So yeah, I'll see about where I'll be by then. Could even think more future. I'm trying to think about like even like if I finish it this week, then I'm trying to think of like what to do next week. I'm not sure yet, so I think that's okay. So I definitely have like a whole week to think about it. That's okay. It's dumb. Okay, great. I'll remember that. Okay. Yep. Thank you so much for joining. Hope this wasn't, you know, too unenjoyable. Yeah. It's hard when the technology always doesn't quite work out. Especially when you just keep hitting your head on the table and it's like it doesn't work out. So it's good to take a break and then come back later. It's probably on Wednesday I'll actually start working on the template. So and then we'll see from there. I actually got the other tools to be able to work on the paragraph. So I got scissors and glue. So I also have a top-down camera, so I can do that as well. So Thursday will be pretty interesting. um, Regardless of where I'll be, but I'll definitely try and have the template done by then for Thursday. So, and then we can, or I guess I'll build it. um, but yeah, that's about it. Anything else? Well, I guess I'm just thinking about how am I gonna create this. I can also probably at the end of this also share the template if it works. If something's like off scale wise, I can go back and change it, and then get the final, I guess, better. If there has to be a newer version, I'll make sure to use a newer version so you guys have a good, a better template. Because I want you to guys. The whole point was to have be like weird, selfish, but also have you guys have something as well. So selfish that this is like my kind of hobby that I like. I love doing this. Do these little paper crafts. I'm trying to do like one of the simplest ones so that if I share this with you guys, you'd be less intimidated by it. So I'm trying to make it as simple as also to construct as well. So that's where some of my intellect and that kind of knowledge of how paper crafts work. So I've been doing that for like 10 years. So I've amassed like over 200 or 300 paper crafts. So just most of them in my bedroom and other places. I could show you more pictures maybe later on. But yeah, my house is pretty full of them. Probably has like I definitely have more. Well, yeah, if I had 300, then I'd probably have more paper crafts than the amiibos. But I like mixing them up. But yeah, really like them. Okay, rambling. Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining. Hope you had fun. So yeah, so next time we'll have maybe more fun. Probably more fun than me. I had fun, but yeah, it's not quite the most jealous you. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye. Stay safe.